We live at a time in human history that is wholly unlike any other that has come before. The ways in which people are connected to one another are so vast and so all-encompassing that communication technology and data sharing have become integrated into every level of society. This means that we have more and more access to all that's going on in the world, and with ever-increasing specificity and on-demand levels of exposure to whatever information we may wish to find. While this is truly a remarkable and beautiful time to be alive, it's also one of the most treacherous and bewildering environments that any human has had to attempt to navigate on Earth. At a time when people can communicate across the globe to one another, families are fractured, people have become far less trusting of one another, and many struggle to find any depth or meaning within the vast and unceasing waves of information being thrust into our collective consciousness at all hours of the day. With all that we're exposed to in this environment, is it any wonder that people feel like they're struggling to make sense of what they see? How well do you feel like you're able to understand the world? I want to go on a journey and examine some of the areas of 21st century life that I find fascinating, beautiful, shocking, terrifying, and wonderful. I want to take a deep look and a focused look at what we're dealing with when we engage with media in all its forms. This will be a long and varied search through some surprising areas of life and some history that I hope will paint a picture that clears some of the smoke away and silences a lot of the noise that's out there seeking to draw our attention and would have us surrendering our own souls to lies and deceit. I love the fact that I'm given the opportunity to be alive at this time in history, yet there are things at work that are deeply concerning to me, and I want to talk about them with open and honest hearts and minds in the hopes that we may be able to understand what's going on when we engage with the world. Please join me in this exploration of media, what it is, what it does, where it comes from, who creates it, why it's used, how we use and interact with it, and much, much more. I want to start off with a general claim that I hope to make a case for in the near future, and that is that most people do not live with a truly accurate perception of reality and are simply living their lives in a constant state of vulnerability to attack and enslavement by those that would seek to control our every thought and behavior, ultimately directing us to serve their own personal gain. Now, that's pretty pessimistic on the surface, I know, yet I also know that there is a really immense power and freedom in the truth, and if any part of what I've put forward here is true, then our lives depend on knowing how to protect ourselves and those we love from being locked in the chains of mental and spiritual slavery. We are in the middle of a war for our minds, make no mistake. This war has been going on for generations, and we all have been conscripted into the fight, whether we realize it or not. What's being fought for is the freedom to live as we've been designed and created, to be allowed to fully realize our individual capacity to think and to reason about reality, such that we may choose to serve our greater purpose and live according to truth. Despite what any postmodernist or progressive ideologues would have you believe, there is such a thing as objective truth, value, and goodness in this world, and we must all come to terms with reality as best we can and rise up to the challenge of overcoming delusion and learning what it means to see clearly. In Scripture, Matthew 7:5 tells us to first take the log out of our own eye so that we may see clearly to remove the speck that's in our brother's eye. Now, through this clearing away and exposing of the lies that blind us, we may then be awake to their controlling ways and the forces at work that are behind all that seek to destroy truth. Once we can see these things clearly, we must then help one another become free from the distractions and the deceptions so that the fight against these dark and destructive forces may continue. This is crucial work, and the stakes have never been higher.